I'm Morgan.
And we know better. Welcome to episode 2.
I know. Aren't you guys excited? Oh my god, I'm already losing my voice. So podcasters losing their voice on the second episode.
Well, we were just at Mean Girls, so we were, viciously screaming and applauding the whole time.
And actually, we were on stage. If you couldn't guess, I'm Regina George. Oh, copyright. Actually, I don't know if that's actually copyright worthy.
I don't think I was hitting any notes that were
They won't even recognize it. So
I feel like I would be a Janice, though, if I was in Mean Girls.
Yeah?
On 4H.
I don't know what I would play. I was thinking about it while we were watching, though. I was like, who would I be? I can't hit any of the notes that any of them...
Oh, I wasn't even thinking, song-wise. I'm just thinking everyone would tell me I'm a loser lesbian behind my back. Anyway, so we saw Mean Girls, the musical. We were supposed to go with my mom, but my mom is #sick, so Morgan came with me, and that's why we're wearing pink.
Yes, even though we're not filming on a Wednesday, but
it was for the bit of it.
Yeah, it was, and it was fun. It was a good show.
Yeah, the actors were really good. We were talking about in the car ride home how dumb they made Aaron in this version, but it's like, I feel like every iteration that you see the older you get, the more you're like, this guy just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because it was so apparent to me this time when, they were in the bedroom when she was drunk, and he was like, you're plastic and fake, I don't like this version of you, this is not what I want, you can't trick me. It's like, you literally just got tricked by Regina 2 times over. And now you're switching your tune.
Right.
That's fucking stupid. Sorry.
I mean, you're right. And you should say it, because he's a fake morality in him. He's like, no, you have to be true to who you are for me to like you. And it's like, right, well, you like Regina. And she's the fakest person on the planet.
Right, but the follow-up to that is, I know, that's what I thought she would do. Should I take it away?
No, she's gonna get mad, I fear. It's fine. Hopefully you can't hear it. If you guys can hear Ginger chewing on her bone, God forbid a girl have hobbies. Leave her alone. She
needed to be appeased. She was stressed out after we got back. Because we're filming at night. This is crazy, actually. Well, not really, but...
It might be a weird vibe. It's not that late, but maybe for you guys...
I think we're a little bit...
that it's different time of day.
A little bit more of an anxious vibe, I think. Just with how we feel about ourselves, I think, right now. At least me.
Our camera quality is better, so that means you can see more of us, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But wait, can we get a moment to, serve? Maybe that'll make us feel better.
Yeah.
Can you,
I know I've been serving face. I literally posted it on Instagram, and I was like, guys, can you remember that I'm really pretty?
Yeah,
we talk about how I'm hot, but we don't talk about how I'm pretty enough. But I think it was it's my face is always a serve. It's just the body that makes me feel uncomfortable a lot of the time.
And that's
why I'm wearing sweatpants.
Don't look at our bodies, actually. We know it's in camera view, but don't look at them. And if I'm not even gonna give you ideas of what to comment. Don't. Just don't. Unless it's smash, because we're still
looking.
The chat. We're still open.
Speaking of still looking. We are both no bitches. We're both single.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this last time, but yeah, no bitches, single, but living alone.
Living alone, yes. But I think there's a lot to unpack about the single, because it's single by choice, but it's also not single by choice. I think it's both.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be able, but I think it is, because I in my head at least, I don't shy away from the idea of a relationship. It would be nice. I think especially in, the quiet, the Sunday afternoons. When I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, wouldn't it be so great if I was cuddling with someone watching TV and, this moment meant so much more than just me being lazy?
It's always the Sunday afternoons or the after the bars or the,
After the bars? After the bars, all I'm thinking about is fucking McDonald's or Taco Bell, shoving that shit down my gullet and then getting in bed.
After a draining night at the... I don't know. Sometimes. It just hits you at random times. But for a majority of it, it's I don't even think about it at all. But there's times.
Yeah. It's in those quiet moments where you kind of want a partner or what I miss, I guess, about having a long-term partner is to do the menial tasks of life with. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, then you do them alone. And that's fine a lot of the time, but when everything fucking sucks and you just want to you know what I mean? You're crying, you're upset and stuff, you just want that level of comfort. And I think we've hit we hit a point of adulthood where I know that my friends are going to be there for me, but also it's a struggle for me to be I should text someone that I'm not doing okay.
Yes.
And also, everyone always has their own lives because we're fucking adults now. You know, I can't just FaceTime my friend because we're both home after school and I know that she's laying in her bed.
Right.
I mean, like, I know that sometimes you guys are free, but it's just that idea, like, I don't have one person that I know I can lean on.
Exactly. No, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I was going to say, adding to that I feel like for a lot of people, that person that you lean on is, like, your family, and I feel like I've fallen into that with my mom a bit, but also sometimes I crave that, like, thing from my mom, and, like, my mom just does not mom like that, and so I, like, end up with that gap.
But you feel some comfort when she's here.
But that's only happened in the last year.
Well, that's true. That's fair.
And it's even worse, honestly, thing I've discovered, hey, when you depend on your mom and you really want her to show up, when she can't, it sucks so bad. It sucks so... It's like I'm losing either way, I've discovered. Yeah. Sorry, a little bit off topic.
No, it's real.
But it's
like... part of it, all part of it, like, that singleness, that being alone, that, like...
I just think it all is now fueling my hyper-independent, like, independence, I guess. The fact that I'm single, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't want to text... I don't know.
That's very older daughter, for sure, is, like, you don't want to even reach out to friends to share what's going on and that you're having a tough time because you're the oldest and you're
even when I do, I never am, like, completely honest about it, or
yes.
I have to say it in some sort of, like, joking format. And I feel like when I had a partner, it was, one, they could tell, they could read me, and I, even though they were a shitty partner, one would argue, it was so nice to have someone who could read me in that way. I mean, a lot of my friends can as well, but I'm not sitting next to you on the couch on a Sunday afternoon every afternoon.
Yeah.
Sunday, I mean.
I think it's a, like, vulnerability thing, too, because with a partner, you're vulnerable in, like, physical ways, sexual ways, and so that's, like, one level of vulnerability. But with your friends, you don't... Most of us don't have that, and so it's harder to, like, you just have to cross the barrier to be vulnerable, and that's really hard.
Yeah, our friend group is quite queer, but unfortunately not the type of queer where we're all fucking each other, which is good, I think.
Are y'all disappointed?
I'm a little.
Like, is that what you... Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I don't want to... Well, no, I don't want to actually fuck any of my friends, but I would. In terms of, like, I think they're hot.
Yes. No, that
but I wouldn't actually. Sorry.
But that's not the type of friend group we are, so I'm sorry if that really disappoints you and you're hoping for... If you were hoping for that messy drama, we don't got it.
If not going to help the inevitable rumors about us. But if there was going to be messy drama, it would inevitably have to be between us, and that's just not the case, because...
we already explained that.
Yeah. Our friends are either taken, or they are not... The ones that are remaining are not queer. And I won't name drop on that because that's not my place to say.
Ooh. Drop in the comments if you want. Hey, if you're in the chat, drop your sexuality. I don't know.
Hey, if you're in the chat, what is my sexuality? Because I'm trying to know. And I'm trying to figure it out with y'all.
Yeah, how about you guys just guess? So either, if you don't feel comfortable dropping your own, just guess.
Hey, drop a like if you think I'm... Oh, I don't even know which one is the better option. Listen, okay.
Wait, no, because they're just drop a like. She's everything.
Drop a like if you think I'm gay in some sort of way.
There you go. Everyone can agree with that. Everyone can agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a... I am very confused about my sexuality, though, and that's also, I think, contributes to a lot of my dating issues.
Right.
Because, I mean, I've only ever dated... That's not true. I've dated a man and a woman. But in long-term, I feel like real relationships, I've only ever dated a man. And, like, that was 4 or 5 years ago now. But, like, that was so bad that, like, I can't even imagine. Like, I went on a date with a man senior year of college. And he was attractive. He paid for the date. He was very liberal, left-leaning. He was great. He was a perfect gentleman. And then we finished dinner, and he was like, oh, like, let's go for a walk, like, stuff. And in my head, I was like, this is gonna lead to us kissing, and I, like, immediately was like, I need to get away from this man as soon as possible. And that makes me just sound like a lesbian, and that's
I'm telling you, people are gonna diagnose you in the comments with lesbianism.
No, that wasn't the point I was going for, though. I just got so, like, scared the idea that this man was going to try to put a move on me or try to touch me in some way, I got so scared, I, like, shut the fuck down. I lied and said I had to go take care of my sister's cats. It was crazy. And I ghosted him, and I feel bad. Jason, if you're out there, you're hot as hell. God, he's never going to watch this. We went on one date. His name was...
Would you have people reaching out to you being like...
Should we get into that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm never going to air this person out because I was the asshole in the situation, 1. And 2, I'm just not going to do that. I care about them on some level. But I woke up at 3 a.m. off the migraine meds last night. I'm drenched in sweat. I grabbed my phone because it keeps buzzing because you and Nelly were going off about something. I don't know. They were up till 3 a.m, and that's normally me. I'm talking fast because I'm getting excited about the punchline here. Open my phone. This person said Liz, and that's how you know it's from someone from college because I've rebranded to Elizabeth at the end of college, and some people it didn't stick. But and then immediately under the Liz was. I forget what it was exactly. I think I need to quote it directly.
We need the receipts because, we have to have a direct quote. It's important to the storyline.
It's so funny. I literally laughed out loud. No, sorry, ignore that. I'm not about to end up on a podcast. Before I even responded, the double text Liz, no, sorry, ignore that. I'm not trying to end up on a podcast. So, and then I reassured them. I said I would never air out our old shit on the podcast. And I won't. But I will air out the text because that is fucking hilarious. That's probably the funniest drunk text I've ever received. Actually, do you want to know?
Wait, I'm scared.
Do you want to know the funniest drunk text I've ever received?
Yes.
It said, I want you and Ange to beat me up and beat me up and tell me I have a small dick and that I get no bitches.
Right. And do you guys maybe understand why we're single? Because what is that?
No, like, drunk texts all the time being like, I just want you to beat the fuck out of me and tell me I'm a stupid, tiny dick bitch. And then the said man would have a secret girlfriend multiple times. It's like, well, I think you want another woman to beat the fuck out of you, not me.
Right. Yeah, true. Maybe he's just a masochist all around.
Yeah. Definitely a degradation kink, which was a crazy thing to discover, I think. And also, like, the other girls he's dated, it's like these tiny little orange, like spray tan orange. These tiny little orange beaches are beating the fuck out of you. Like, what's going on behind closed doors? And that honestly was the worst. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I kind of love those orange beaches for that. Someone needs to.
Listen, I'm not trying to hate on them, but, like, yeah, no, it's really a blow to your confidence, especially as I'm Puerto Rican, and I am very much white passing, but I'm also very alt looking. I don't dress any way that's kind of... There's a lot about me that's not perfect body type, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. What's it called? The beauty standard. And then I'd be talking to him, and then I'd find out he's hooking up with girls who were, like, spray tanned, like, fucking bright orange. Like, you want a fucking orange girl. Got it. But not me.
Right. Well, right.
Like, what do you even do in that scenario? Just die. That was the conclusion I came to.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And then at the same time, he's in your phone being like, I want you to beat me up and fucking call me a little small dick boy.
You and Ange, too. That's the crazy part.
He would be like, can you record it and send it to Ange? Like I don't know what Ange had to do with it. Why did he want that? I'm sorry, Ange.
I mean, Ange is a baddie.
I would never... Ange is a baddie. So
that's why.
My friend Ange is very much a baddie.
Yeah.
She does not deserve that.
No one deserves that.
I would never subject her. Actually, that's a lie. Me and Ange have talked about... like, if she was dating a really hot man... We were like, we always make, maybe it's mostly a joke, but I'm like, all right, you set up the phone, you press FaceTime, and then I'll check your angles while you're fucking downward dog angles to make sure you're hitting the angles while he hits.
That's true friendship right there, actually.
I would. We used to practice, like, how to go into doggy to make sure, like, we have that arc.
And we just said that we are not the type of friend group that...
Me and Ange would never.
I know, but I'm just like, this is crazy behavior.
We are so far off from
But we're not the type of friend group that fucks each other, okay? No. So stop asking.
It's pretty... Stop asking for the sex tape, okay? I only sent it to the one man.
What?
I was trying to make a joke about the guy, how he wanted me to record him beating him up. I've never recorded... Actually, that's not true. I have recorded a sex tape, but I have never, in recent years, recorded a sex tape.
Moving on, because I'm not going to touch on that topic when my mother watches.
Fair. Hi, Morgan's mom.
Yes. Thank you to all our supporters, by the way. Want to say that, because we had a lot of people watch or interact in some way, and I'm thankful for that. Friends and family. So thank you guys. You're real ones.
More than we thought.
And the feedback, for sure, because we just want to get better at this, and I think we will over time. But it's hard when it's just like us nitpicking and watching ourselves and we're focusing on some things and not others. So thanks for that. Love you guys. You guys are the day ones. Okay, and if we do burp and fart, what? Well,
if I burp and fart and shit all over the bed, you can't judge me.
That's like future episode. Like maybe for episode 50, we can do that for you guys.
Yeah, sure. We can do that if
I'm joking. That kind of goes into the why I'm single as well. Is I don't want to the type of person that I can become when I'm in a relationship or pursuing a relationship is like so not authentic. And I know that's a me problem, but I'm like, I hate having to hold in a fart. I want to lay in my bed and fart, okay? I don't like having to hold in a burp. I don't like... I'm a girl, but I'm a gross girl at times, and I don't like... Like, literally, it's the worst thing in the world when you're laying in bed next to someone, and all I can think about is, how do I get out of this situation so I can go fart? Like, actually, I'm sorry.
And I don't even have the luxury of really, like, choosing when that moment happens for me, because I have Crohn's disease. Like, it just does not... Yeah. No, my ex-boyfriend would be like, girl, your farts stink so bad. One time I farted in the car, and he started gagging. He was, like, frantically trying to put down the windows.
That's real. Oreo did that once. He was under the covers and...
Oh, Ginger loves...
I farted and I crawled up from under the covers and gagged.
Ginger loves to hotbox that shit.
Yeah, like, Ginger's the culprit.
Ginger and my dog.
You guys probably go bar for bar for that. Like,
yeah, sometimes when she makes me mad, I'll trap her under the blanket.
That is evil!
She deserves it. She does it right back. She'll, like, cuddle up on the bed so that her butt is here, and then she'll extend this way, and then she'll just start farting.
I have been a victim, so...
Ginger's farts are rancid.
They really are bad, but I feel like that's with all dogs. But, yeah, if you can't tell, there's definitely some reasons why we're single that are not... I mean, it's both our choosing and not. It's because it's like, of course I could do those things for the right person. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have to. I should be free to be myself. But it's like, I don't want to. I don't want to go through that process, especially for me, the awkward the process of getting to know someone, like...
Yeah.
Ugh, like, it's the worst. I hate it. I hate the getting to know each other phase. It's the worst.
And my big thing is, I truly don't think, like, I can just meet a stranger and be like, oh, I have romantic feelings, like, you know, going on a first date with someone, like, off a dating app is so horrible in the sense of, like, this is a stranger, and not even, like, stranger danger in the sense, but, like, how can I build a romantic relationship with you off of nothing?
Yeah,
and
that's valid.
Maybe that makes me demisexual, I guess, but, like, I don't, but it's not the sexual attraction, it's just it's the wanting to be in a relationship. Like, I don't feel that unless I've known you for, like, not a crazy amount of time. I mean, my first high school boyfriend, like, I heard wind of him, and we were, like, kind of friends for, like, a month or two, and that built up, but, like, that part where we weren't actively going on dates right when I met him built up that tension of, like, I want you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, the guy I liked in college that ruined my life for 5 years, we were in the same class for, like, a whole semester. Right. Before I was like, like, I always thought he was hot, but before I was like, wow, I really, like, I want to be with him. I don't get that feeling right off the bat. So, like, all these Hinge dates, it's like, these girls I'm going out with, they're pretty, and they're fun, and we're, like, hitting it off, but it's like, I don't feel that connection with them. That connection builds up over time. I don't understand how people just, like, get that with someone. And maybe I don't
think they do, though. I think we just have a warped perception of, like, dating apps are made to believe that it's a good, you meet someone, it's a good match, and you're supposed to hit it off right away. But, like, back in the day, well, a lot of things were different, but, like, you were just meant to go on dates to get to know someone. Like, that was what the point was. But then I feel
like there's so much pressure in this dating era, because it's like, on the first date, in my head, because I have a lot of different fears with different levels of intimacy, sexual, and also just closeness of someone knowing me, like, sexual part aside. But it's like, I go on a first date, and in my head, I'm like, it's acceptable that I'm not going to kiss them. Right. And, like, but then it gets to the second date, and I immediately feel that pressure that I should be wanting to kiss them this time. And that drives me, it makes me terrified. And that's a lot of my own issues, but, like, in the sense of, like, I agree that going on dates should be getting to know someone, but why do I feel like the first date is the only pass I get for not making sexual moves on someone who I'm trying to seek out romantically?
I think that's the culture we live in, like, not the expectations, but, like, I don't know. I think we just don't be yearning and, like, what's the word that they call it?
I be yearning, but
courting.
No one else.
We don't be courting anymore. Like, we don't try to, like, win affection of others. We're like, no, I should be hitting at the second date.
Right. And that's another thing.
It's unrealistic for a thriving relationship.
Yeah. That's another thing I feel. I feel like with the yearning, like, I yearn so hard. There is, like, a girl that I, like, was interested in 8 years ago. I still dream about her. And I still, if she was like, never mind, I actually am gay, we should date, I would say yes to this day. Yeah. And it's like, I yearn like that, you know what I mean? And but that's also, like, I want that from someone, but at the same time, that's why I think I have so many issues with dating, because I don't feel that for just anyone. Yeah. The last time I felt it was this guy from college, and he effed me over so many times, had multiple secret girlfriends, and I still loved him, which is crazy to admit that out loud. And I still, like, I mean, actually, he posted on Instagram a few days ago, and that was the first time I looked at him, and I was like, that's just a man, which was like, hallelujah! Hey! But at the same time, it's just like, I want him to want me so bad. I don't necessarily want him anymore, but I'll always want him to want me. And to me, when I want someone romantically, it's so all soul-consuming and obsessive, and I think that has to do with my own mental health issues. That's also why I think I struggle so much with casual dating, or, like, trying to get out into the dating arena nowadays.
Right.
That mixed with my general repulsion for men.
Yes. It's all that combined. The terrible experiences, the way things are now. It's just, I don't know how anyone does it.
Yeah. I don't know how any of you guys are finding... Okay, two-pronged sentence. I don't know how any of you guys are finding boyfriends who aren't, like, horrible human beings and respect. Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe that your boyfriends respect women for the most part. I truly don't, because it's actually rare, and I feel like men have to purposefully unlearn the fact that women should just be given to them, because that is what they are raised on. And even if it's not, facts. Even if they aren't aggressive about it, it's in their fundamental belief, and they have to take a step back and unlearn that to even become someone I would even want to be near. So I don't believe that all your boyfriends are doing that. And if they're not doing that, then, like, what do you get out of that relationship, in my opinion? Like how can you feel respected? Sorry, I'm saying, like, so much. And then the two-prong of that, I don't believe half your boyfriends are ugly as hell. Where are you finding attractive men? You're not. They're all ugly.
Unfortunately.
You're all blind.
Like, yeah, well, it's like, do you accept that they're ugly? Or do you actually think they're attractive? Or maybe it's like the thing of, like, oh, maybe you're not as superficial as me, and I'm like, that is an ugly man, why are you with him? But
I think that if I were to be in a relationship with a man again, I want to feel like I want to jump their bones 24/7. Like, I want to think they're so sexy and hot. Because in my first relationship, the most I could not tell him he was hot. to his face. And, okay, maybe you're gonna all call me a lesbian in the comments. Maybe I deserve that. But I thought he was cute. He was, like, boy next door cute. And I could tell him he was cute. He was adorable. Like, I loved him all day long. But he would always get mad at me because he's like, I call you sexy as fuck all the time. You've never called me sexy. And I was like, if I literally could not force the words out of my body, like, you are sexy. And I think if I wanted to date a man again, like, I want to feel that. Because I do think that's what a lot of women, not my specific case, but, like, they know their boyfriends are a little ugly. And I don't ever want to be in that position again.
Yeah. I agree. Or maybe you guys are just blind and that's terrible for me to say. Maybe you're...
Love blindness?
Yeah. And that's fine. I just, like, I can't imagine getting myself to that point. Or maybe I'm already blind and it's like the men I am attracted to are ugly and I just don't see it, like, for real.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, do you guys see it? Like, I don't know. Maybe we need someone educated on the topic that's not single and actively dates ugly men. That's terrible.
Hey, okay, so...
If you date ugly men, come on the pod, let us know. Do you know that, or do you, like, actually confused?
Hey, maybe we'll forget by the time the next person we bring on this pod, trust they're gonna have an ugly boyfriend, and we're gonna ask what they think about their boyfriend.
No, because the next person we have on is gonna be set up. Oh, yeah.
It's a joke. It's me, setting up in the future.
Oof.
Just
Everyone's
kidding.
gonna start denying our requests to be on the pod.
Her friends are like, no.
Except the single ones. There's some single ladies out there that want to be on the pod.
That's true. But there's, like, some celebrities even who I think people are blind about. Like, Jack Harlow's not hot. He is not. No. That's disgusting. He scares me. He seems like he would, like, if I, like, wake up in the night in the dark, like, he would, like, be over me and I would, like, be terrified and I would scream.
Yeah, he does give that type of vibe. But it's, like, it's really hot, famous women, too. So it's not even, like, that's what makes the phenomenon even bigger, or, like, not just, like, what we perceive of other people we know, but, like, famous women, these talented, successful, beautiful women date ugly men. Yeah. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z, for example.
And then they write these songs that are, like, the most beautiful or sexual songs. Fucking Rocket by Beyonce. Drunk in Love by Beyonce. Mm-hmm. And then it's about the ugliest thing I've ever seen, Crawl Out of Hell. And not only are they ugly, he fucking cheated on her.
Yes.
He cheated on her, and she wrote
his mother of his children. Yes. And the queen of the world.
Yes. And listen, she did get her lick back with Lemonade, the best man-hating album of all time, her magnum opus, but she stayed with him. Yeah. She stayed with him.
Same thing with the Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy.
Yes.
Great Fuck You album. And then she takes the man back!
Yeah. That just kills me. And I don't ever want to be in that situation either. Like, one of my biggest fears is being in a loveless marriage. Or in a situation where I won't leave. That's a valid
fear, because it's a
50%
reality. It's a very big reality.
50% of people get divorced, and then what composed of that leftover 50% are actually in love? Yeah. Probably not that much. Maybe I have a bad opinion of it. Because
that's
of my own parents.
That's probably partially true, but...
But, like, I cannot fathom that. Waking up next to a man every... Oh, and you know what pisses me off? Women who, like, go to work and, like, make the bread money, and then they come home and their boyfriend... me when I mentally demote them. Their husband isn't doing anything, and you still have to clean the house, and you still have to cook the fucking food, and then do the laundry and do the dishes. I heard about a situation like that from someone I was visiting recently. About their marriage like that, and they're just like, I just want to be appreciated. And I was like, I literally would wake up and I would put a gun in my mouth.
Mm. Yeah, because that's the thing too, is I love so many parts about being single, but one of those is like having to do everything for myself. Kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but like having to do it for another person, like they're expecting me to do things for them versus like a collaboration. No.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok and I thought it was the realest thing I've ever heard about relationships with men, but it was specifically talking about marriage. And it was a woman, and she was like, listen, and this is taking it with a grain of salt, because I think a lot of traditional marriages in the past were abusive, most of them, and kind of ownership. But she was saying, like, in the past, men had the capacity to make the money to support the family like, successfully, and then some, so that the woman was comfortable. And so she was like, if I'm not comfortable and you can't pay, why are you expecting wife services for me to cook, clean, take care of the kids, if you can't even make enough money for me to do that comfortably? And now men in this day and age are expecting us, with their dead, like, their fucking shit jobs, where they're not making, and I know that a lot of that has to do with the economy, but men are expecting them to not make that money, be bums, and then also have us cook, clean, and take care of the kids and pop out their kids. No. If you're not making at least $150,000 a year, do not expect goddamn shit from me. And that's...
Yeah. It's you want a provider you want to be the provider of your family, and then have your wife be the provider of the home, or the caretaker of the home, but then you're not 50-50, but you're doing 50-50 in the work. So she is providing, and then you want her to do everything at home. Like, that's
ridiculous.
That's not how it works. If you want to be the provider, then be the provider. And then sure, if you have someone that's willing to work with that arrangement, then I'm sure they'll be happy to do whatever you need at home and do the cooking, the cleaning, and whatever.
But men expect that shit, and then
you want her to work? Oh God, don't get me started.
Yes, exactly. And you know what, another thing about men in relationships? I think men are they seek out relationships because they need that, like, emotional support and that emotional release, because they don't get that with their friends. It's so rare that men have that, like, emotional relationship with another man, you know? But I feel like women, we're at a day and age where, like, I don't need a man to access that part of me. I can be vulnerable with you. I can be vulnerable with, like, I know how to, like... Yes, I talked about struggling with that vulnerability earlier, but I feel like girls, we connect on a level, even if we are both being emotionally cut off in some way, and a deeper level than most men in this planet are at all.
Yeah.
And so men, of course, they want those women to baby them emotionally.
To mother.
Yes. Yep. I'm not your fucking mom.
Y'all have mommy issues, like, sorry, get it checked. Because we're not, yeah. That's, like, all I can say is y'all are the problems.
Bottom line.
No, I'm just kidding.
Bottom line, you are all ugly, you are all poor, and you all are shitty boyfriends who don't respect women, period. And it's like the dating pool is desolate. Yeah. And that's mostly talking about men. I mean, I do date both men and women. Mm-hmm. But I was focusing on the man part, I guess. I think the women part, what I'm struggling with is, like, the connection, I guess, a little bit. Also, I deleted dating apps. I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yep, I agree.
I also can't do hookups. I just can't. I'm not built that way.
No, there's something on the soul about it. I don't know. I like being single. And is that crazy to say? It feels like it. This is a thing, too, that I've been thinking about a lot. I think one of my biggest problems about being single is feeling guilty that I like it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like something's wrong with me. That I'm like, no, I'm actually okay with it for a majority. Again, I have my times when I'm like, I do wish I had a partner. But for the majority, I like being single. But I feel like there's something wrong with me. Like, why do I feel good about not having to share my space and having my own alone time? Like, is there something wrong with me? But I don't think there is. I think that's what I'm supposed to be made to believe, that there's something wrong with wanting to be on my own and independent, and I don't think that there should be. I like it.
I think women specifically were fed this idea that the number one goal in our lives should be finding a man as soon as possible to marry him and have kids. Like, our ultimate goal in life should be a successful marriage and kids, which I think is a load of BS, because, I'm sorry, the people preaching this to us don't even have that. Not, you know what I mean? No one has that.
Yes.
And I just don't think that you need a marriage or this grand love to have fulfillment in a lifetime. And like you said, sometimes I'm like, I kind of do miss being in love and stuff, like the small aspects of it. But to me, that is never going to be the main goal in my life. Because, okay, I was thinking about this the other day. At the end of the day, you are born alone and you die alone. It doesn't matter if my husband is sitting next to me while I'm dying. Whatever I'm dying from, I'm going to be so incoherent and focused on my own pain that I'm not going to even know. You die alone. You alone are the only one dying in that moment. Most often.
Right. That's true.
And even if even if we are in the public or something, and then all of a sudden a bomb drops on us.
Right.
the last thought isn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to face death alone.
Yes.
Is the bottom line. And, like, I hate the idea of, like, well, you don't want to die alone, do you? Even if I have a partner, most often where I'm going to die, they're probably not going to be next to me. And even if they are, I'm probably not going to be conscious of that because I'm going to be probably panicking about the fact that I have to face my own non-existence.
Yeah.
Or whatever outside factor that I'm dying from.
Right.
And that's a scary thought. But at the same time, then why do we push this? Why do we need to always be doing everything with somebody else?
Yes. No, that's true. Everything has to be with another partner. Because after you graduate, you don't really get any celebrations for yourself. You only get celebrations in conjunction with other people in your life. Other than birthdays, but a lot of people choose not to celebrate their birthdays for a number of reasons, but one of those kind of being age, because women don't like to celebrate their aging. But outside of that, it's like, what do you get? Baby showers, weddings, anniversaries, things of that nature. Like, we're only celebrating in life the things that have to do with others versus just ourselves.
Yeah. And I also truly, in my heart of hearts, I think that I believe in soulmates, but I believe that we have so many soulmates, and that they all mean different things. And the idea that there's one romantic person that is meant for you in your life, I think is bullshit. Because when I was 17 and I was dating my boyfriend at 17 before it all went to abusive shit, in my head I was like, he's the love of my life and I love him and I can't see my life without him.
Yeah.
And then guess what? We broke up. And I don't see that anymore. But I don't think that feeling was any less valid then. I think you can fall in love with people over and over and over until you die. And the idea that I should be looking and to cling to someone for this long-term thing, I don't know. That also makes me upset. Like, when I see so many people marrying so young, having kids at 24, that's... One, I think women do that because they think it's going to make them happy, and I know that they're going to figure that out, that it does not, pretty soon. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like I could start dating someone today, and even if I dated them for the next 5 years, if we broke up at 30, I'm only 30. There's so much time for me to fall in love again and again and again and again. And I think that's also why I'm kind of a yearner in the sense, because, I mean, my high school boyfriend is a little bit of a specific case because I really hate him now. But, like I feel like all the good feelings there have turned bad. But, like, I think that's why the girl that I liked when I was young, I still feel those feelings for, because I loved her. And that love doesn't go away, but it doesn't stop me from falling in love with more people.
Yes. Exactly.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. Because I agree, too. I think there's multiple soulmates in your life, and they're not all romantic.
Yeah.
I think there's just people that...
You're meant to know.
You're meant to... I don't even... Well, because I have varying thoughts on, like, fate, but just, like, there's many people on this earth that you can truly connect with in a way where your souls are kind of bonded or mated, but, like, it's not a sexual thing. It's just, like, no, we are akin. We are... Like, we're not blood related, but we are family or blood in that way. That's kind of how I view soulmates. And so I think because of that too, it's like why not everyone is fortunate enough to have that. And I think that's part of the reason why they go searching for a romantic partner, is because they don't have people that they feel... I mean, this is kind of what you were talking about with, like, you can feel it in your platonic friendships, but if you don't feel like you have someone that you are close to, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, that they're your person, then you're going to actively be seeking out a person. And for most people, that's through romance versus, like, friends or whoever, I guess. Yeah. Mostly friends. But, like, I think about with my sisters, like, I'm closer to them than I think I will be anyone on the planet. Well, I guess my friends, I'm really close with them too, but, like, a romantic partner coming into my life, like, they're never going to replace my sisters. They're a different type of relationship, but, like, they are my soulmates in a way. So it's ridiculous to think that there's only one, well, in my mind, it's ridiculous to think there's only one person in my life that's for me and that our souls are tied. When I have so many people in my life that are they couldn't be replaced, and I couldn't live without. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I think I get off a little easy, and I think I do speak from a place of privilege in terms of that, in terms of like having a person who I connect with. I mean, I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of best friends who I consider my best friends, but like Ange is definitely, if I did not have Ange, I think I would probably be seeking out romance a little bit harder than I do, just in the sense of I don't think, or if I didn't find her, I would be trying to find that version of her. Yeah. I don't think there's any human being on planet Earth who will ever understand me the way that she does. And I think I give a lot of different parts of myself to different people. Like, Brooke I grew up with, she was my best friend growing up, and she knows things about me and what I was experiencing during that time that no one else in the world will ever know. And I'll never tell them, because I just don't want to relive those things. You know, and she has that specific part of me, but Ange, I think, is the most I've ever given, honestly, to another person ever in my life. And she's seen me through, I mean, I've seen her through her being freaking ginger. Not that that was a bad thing, but she's seen me.
We know the truth, and you were a ginger at one point.
But she's seen me through every freaking phase of obsession of all these fandoms. She saw me from the start and the end of the whole... Should I name drop him? No, probably not.
No.
The whole college boy situation.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want me to talk about it anymore, but she was there, and she understands what it... Like, she's a part of my family, which is a bit interesting because I have a bit of a broken family, I would say. So it's interesting that she integrates herself in that willingly, but she understands I don't know. Sorry, I'm just rambling about Ange. But I think, like, truly, when she gets a long-term partner, it's almost it's almost a little bit scary to think about where that relationship goes. It's a fear in my mind of her getting a romantic partner, because to me, I don't think I would ever need one if I have that closeness with Ange. And as well as with a lot of people, but specific example in the deepest and most, I feel.
Yeah, that's fair, but I think...
And how could any man compare to that?
Well, that's true. But I think it does go to the point of you just having multiple soulmates, is that she can't be replaced and she never will be. And I don't think... I mean, it is valid to be scared that the relationship will change when there's another primary soulmate in the mix, but love is infinite in my belief, and there's plenty of room for both of you.
Yeah, I guess, and I do believe...
I think your bond is so strong, like, there's no relationship is gonna be able to tear you guys apart unless you specifically, like, let it for some reason. I'm not saying you would do that, but just for other examples, like, if you're truly good friends, best friends to the point of, you know, you think you're platonic soulmates in a way, nothing is gonna change that with another person, another soulmate entering your life, unless you let it.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that there is no finite amount of love that you can give out. It's infinite. It's a feeling within you that doesn't have a stopper on it.
Right.
But I guess I think I do feel insecurities and fears about people leaving, and I think that manifests with that.
It's valid.
My sister being sisters. Well, I'm just pretending I'm you. My sister being in a relationship, that's a source of fear sometimes. Things like that.
Yeah.
I guess that just comes with being single.
Let's talk about that too. All of our siblings
are in relationships
long-term. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at Christmas this year, there were some family things going on that I think put some stress on the situation, but I almost felt like I had this, like, epiphany of, like, my sister's in a long-term relationship. She does not have to come home and endure this if she doesn't want to. And it was, like, this fear, because I'm just starting to get along with my parents, but that's kind of besides the point, because she's always had strifes with my parents, and I think with the political climate, it's only getting worse for her.
Right.
And she has this relationship, and her girlfriend's family all live near each other, and to me, it's like, if I were in her shoes, why would I even bother with me and my family when I have this outlet? And it's such a fear. Yeah. I don't ever want to lose my sister to that, and I guess it becomes a weird situation, because it's not her leaving me for the relationship, it's her leaving the shitty family, like, you know? the family situation that I'm going to be stuck in because I'm still in the family.
You'll be like alone.
I don't know if you feel any similar ways about your siblings being in relationships.
What I was going to say, it's similar to what you're feeling, but not in the same way, because I do really like my family dynamic, and it's more that I don't want that to change. I have fond memories of us being all together, and I recognize that as we get older, it's going to warp, and it's going to be one day that I'm not my sister's primary family.
Yep, that's
my sisters are going to have their own families, and it's not going to be me. And that's, as being the older sister that likes to pretend I'm the mom, that's really, really hard for me to accept, because in my mind, especially not having another partner to have a second family with, as I am now, it's like that.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, no, it's hard for me to swallow. It was that way because when my sister spent her first Christmas in Italy with her boyfriend, that was really, really, really hard for me. And I feel like I maybe vocalized that to her a little bit. Maybe not, I can't remember. She'll have to speak on it. But it was just that first knowledge that, like, we're not, like, I mean, we're not her only family, I guess. She has other family in a way, and suddenly we've spent every Christmas together for the last 19 years, and she's not going to be a part of it in the same way that we have been. We still, like, make time to spend Christmas. Before that, like, we
but the
make
idea
a point
that it's
of
going
it,
to change.
but that it did change, and that it was going to change, was really, really hard for me. But I was able to get through it. It's just like change is a part of life, and it really does suck, especially in ways like that. But
I think that's my big fear as well. That Christmas specifically changing, that tradition changing, because I mean, I only have one sister. I mean, Angie's like a sister to me, and in February, I actually got drunk at Penn State, and I told her how thankful I was that she comes up for every Christmas, because I truly, like, I'm with that knowledge that, you know, if my sister doesn't want to, or even if she just wants to spend it with someone else, I need to knock against my family, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that means I'm SOL, like, I am with my parents, and because I don't have other sisters, and we don't go to other family, my family's not like that.
That's true, but I feel like you don't. And I know it's kind of different because maybe you want to be there for your parents, or you want to spend it with your parents. But, like, if you truly don't want to be alone with your parents, I don't think, like, that's an opportunity. But then what's the alternative? Well, you can make Christmas whatever you want it to be. You can have something just with Ange, or you could fucking come to my Christmas. Like,
right. But
I get what you're saying. But it's like,
my point was that I'm thankful that Ange she was the one who made me like Christmas. I hated Christmas my whole life because I thought it was always kind of a miserable affair. And now she made me love it painstakingly over the past 5 years, made me love it. And I told her this February, I said, I'm so thankful that you came to this Christmas, and I don't ever want to spend a Christmas away from you, which was probably an intense thing for me to say to her. But, like, just the idea, like, I appreciate that she makes an effort there and makes me know that she wants, like, even if she has to go do family stuff on Christmas Eve or whatever, she makes a point to let me know that she wants to be there with me on Christmas Day.
100%.
And that, I think, makes Christmas. It makes me want to be there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I always want my sister to be there, but that's a comfort to me when I think about my sister possibly branching out and having her own family one day. Yeah. I think Ange is my second family at this point.
Definitely. I think she's part of your first family, basically.
Yeah. But that's, I guess I get upset, and that's a point of almost jealous, like, even if I didn't want to spend it with my parents and I went and visited you, per se, doesn't that just suck, though? That I don't have... So.
It does. It does.
And what I'm saying is it doesn't...
Yes,
it would be fun, and I wouldn't say that, like, your Christmas would make me feel bad or anything.
No.
But at the end of the day, all I want to have my parents and my sister have a good family Christmas, and it just sucks that it never happens.
Yes.
And
no, that's true.
Especially now that Ange makes me like it. Because now I want it more than I ever have.
Yeah. No, it's true, and it's unfair. Because some people have some people have really great Christmases and family memories and things like that, and some people really don't. What I'm trying to just say is, like, my fucking Hallmark movie, Christmas is what you make it. And so, or like traditions are what you make it. So just like how Ange changed the perspective of what Christmas used to be for you, it could change going forward if it needed to be whatever you wanted it to be.
I guess I agree. I just think coming from the perspective where they've, like, I guess I'll always have, like, that jealousy and that want for it to work out in that traditional way, I guess.
It's 100% fair to feel that way.
When I know people and I have so many friends that do, like, no, you're an example, I guess, so sorry. No, but, like, you prioritize family time, you prioritize spending Christmas with your family, and it almost, like, makes me, like, angry.
I get
Not at you, just at, like, the world.
At your situation. I 100% understand it. It's... Some people are more lucky in that, I guess maybe lucky is not the right word, but like more blessed in that atmosphere, and I'm definitely one of them. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't speak on it because I don't have that, but I mean, I'm going
But
from...
you're right. Christmas is what you make it.
Like, my Christmases are going to change.
Yes. And you're valid for that.
And
I think everything you're saying is completely valid and true.
So I'm maybe giving the advice to myself that I'm going to have to learn to adjust to what a new Christmas will be and make the most out of that.
Yeah.
Because what my sisters are going to have their own families and want to do their family stuff, and what am I just going to go back with my parents? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Love you, Mom and Dad, but maybe
this year,
I mean, I would still love to spend part of it with them, but like just the Christmas with just me and my mom and dad, like I don't think I'll do that.
Yeah. I like how we went in a whole tangent about Christmas, and also just like the assuming that we are going to be single forever.
Well,
both of us being like, well, what are we gonna do? Us with just our parents? No, like just assuming that there will never be a partner in that mix is just funny, valid and funny.
For right now, yes, that's how it feels, and that's what I'm like foreseeing. I'm not actively pursuing a relationship right now. If it falls into my lap, cool, but I'm just not. I love being single, and like I'm also only 23. Mm-hmm. So I, like, my hormones are gonna change, my body's gonna change, my brain is gonna change. Like, I could have totally different perspective in 10 years, and I hope I will, because I don't want to be, like, change is good, and I don't want to be the same. But right now, it's like, when I picture my future, actually, that's a weird topic, because I'm like, I don't even picture my future, because I don't think I really...
That's a good thing, though.
Imagine a future after... like graduating. Like, I don't know, I just work until I die. But like in the sense of like I'm living in the now in a way, and like I really like how my life is now, so I don't really picture what a future is because I don't know what's gonna happen, I guess. I
think not banking on and purposefully like foreseeing this future of like, oh, I know I'm going to end up with a partner and married and blah, blah, blah. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Not knowing. Being like, I don't think you're not projecting a future and, like, you won't have a future. I think you're just not projecting a future as thinking, like, there's nothing I'm specifically marking down.
Yeah, 100%.
Ginger farted and it's really bad.
Oh, God. Well, maybe that's just her saying you guys need to stop. Like, you're stinking up the place with your single opinions. How do you guys feel? People who are chronically single talking about being single and dating. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Yeah.
Also, side note, any hot masks, men or they thems who want to bring me to their family Christmas and make me like Christmas. This is an open invitation.
That is a Hallmark movie in the making. Hallmark, get on that.
While we're on that.
They don't be making queer LGBT movies, which
put me in. I bet I could Hallmark act.
You probably can. Like, the bar is low.
Well, so now that we've been through and through with all of that, I think that got a very not the way I thought it was going to go, but very deep and emotional regardless.
Did you guys think this was going to be a deep podcast? Because, like, this is how our talks be sometimes. I didn't like the way I said that sentence. This is how we do get in some
dark, deep conversations.
Yeah.
Especially because we are the two chronically single. I mean, Isabel's also single. Sorry, air out. But also, I just, similar feelings about dating.
Yes. Yep. Nope. And with similar feelings about a lot. That's why we wanted to start the podcast. Like, we have funny things to say sometimes, but we also have deep shit that we want to get off our chests and, like, say to the world. So, if you guys weren't expecting that, sorry, but get used to it.
Yeah.
Let's get into our segments. Maybe a little bit more lighthearted. I'm going to start. So, this is unsolicited advice, because you're not really asking for our opinions on certain things, but I'm going to say it anyways. Specifically with Reddit.
Yeah,
because
I lost my Reddit post,
no one commented their situation. Like, why didn't you guys ask us for some advice?
Well,
what the hell?
Dylan did.
Oh, yeah.
He put in the comments, he said, where's the Dropbox for my grievances against older siblings? And what I have to say about Dylan, I don't care about your grievances.
Ooh.
You can ask me for
men cannot comment. So stop.
No exceptions for boyfriends. Only Pedro Pascal and Kevin.
Right. Okay. So this one I chose one not about men or dating for mine because I knew we were going to be talking about it a lot. So this question is, am I overreacting for feeling guilty about putting in my 2 weeks notice? I've worked at a certain food chain restaurant for almost 6 years and I want to quit. Want to put in my 2 weeks notice, but I am anxious about my manager's reaction because she will either be silently mad or obviously mad. I know she will be mad, but I don't want to see it because I might feel guilty for wanting to leave. She's understaffed there, but she's barely earning money. So is she overreacting for feeling guilty? I chose this because I've been in this situation before. Kind of as a people pleaser. It's that intense feeling of guilt anytime that you feel like you're gonna let someone down or get someone to be mad at you. My advice is to just do it in a way that you're comfortable with. Like, if you're really not comfortable giving it in person, then don't. Like, I don't think there's any reason you have to push yourself to do it unless they mandatorily make you submit your resignations that way. But do it in a way that makes you comfortable and focus on why you are leaving, the positives. You're not, like, this is one of the times that I've talked about before. You can be selfish. It's okay to be selfish. You want what's best for you. You need what's best for you. If you are not making money, then, like, you don't owe anyone anything. You gave them 6 years of your life at a fast food chain. You don't owe them anything, even if they try to guilt you into thinking you do. The only person you owe in this world is yourself. The ability to do what's best for you. And so you have to try and keep that in perspective.
And I also think it's a girl.
I think so. I don't know if they
I think with women, we also struggle to, like, advocate for ourselves, especially in, like, a work setting, saying, like, you know what I mean? I feel like that feels daunting.
Oh,
and it feels like you're doing something wrong by saying, putting in your 2 weeks. And, like, I would definitely struggle with that, I think, from a social anxiety perspective, but as well as just being a woman who, I mean, I don't know, her boss sounded like a woman as well, but even just under power of any sort, like, talking to the upper power, saying, you're not doing something bad by doing that, but it feels that way.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's kind of what that sounds like.
It is, but you're not. You're doing what's best for you, and I think that goes for everything. Just keep in mind that the only person you owe is yourself. It's hard to separate yourself from the anxiety of what other people think of you or perceive you as, but you don't want to look back on your life and think that you're only staying in a job longer because you don't want your manager to be mad at you. You're not going to feel good about that when you go forward.
And you only live one life. Yeah. You only live one life. If you're miserable in your job and you have the means to, then you should leave. Yeah. You could die tomorrow, you know? Yes. That's what I think of. And I think there's, like, a statute of limitations is not what I mean, but there's a limit of, like, how much you can exercise that freedom in terms of, like, needing money and things like that. Yeah. But just the idea that don't do things, like, don't just stay for the sake that you, yeah. I think you summarized it pretty well. Yeah. I'll summarize mine because I can't find the Reddit post anymore, but it's okay because it's stuck in my mind. Okay. It's a fight between a girl and her sister, and she's wondering if she's being the asshole in the scenario. Okay. This girl is 20 years old. She is dating a man who's 28. Yep. They started dating 2 years prior. Oof. 18 and 27? 26. Wow. I'm an engineer. That was crazy when I thought about it. Yeah, I agree. She is been with the boyfriend for 2 years, and they haven't been planning to have a baby, but they're not necessarily taking precautions to not. Okay. So she's pregnant, and she is happy about it. They're happy. The couple's happy, and they're excited about it.
The 20-year-old is happy about it?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I know. This is why I chose it, because there's a lot of layers of judgment and thoughts I'm having. Right. So she goes to family dinner. Her older sister, who is, I think, 29, something around that, older than both of them. Super, super religious. Like, post TikToks with, like, Bible quotes and talking about what we owe to God and Jesus and things like that. Okay. Important to note. So they all sit down, they reveal the news to the family dinner. Mm-hmm. Her parents are excited, his parents are excited, everyone's excited except the sister. And the sister is getting on her for basically getting pregnant so young and, like, saying it's against God. And I forget the specific reasoning, but they're not married and they don't have plans to get married. That was a part of it. Why, yeah. And the fact that they weren't using any protection and she's so young, and she's basically saying, like, how can you be happy about this? Like, you're a slut. That was basically the end of it. And then the sister in retaliation was like, well, at least I'm not you, who's, like, you know, a religious know-it-all, blah, 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 and you let religion dictate your life, and also called the sister out, revealed the secret about the sister, that the sister had also gotten pregnant out of wedlock a few years prior and had an abortion. Oh, and wow. She came at the sister for that and said, you know, well, you had an abortion and you had the baby out of wedlock, and those are both sins, so how can you tell me what I'm doing is a sin? Right. And then the sister stormed out and left. And her question was really like, was I wrong in that scenario? Sure. Who was the asshole in that scenario? And to me, there's a lot of things I think going on. I think that the girl was groomed to an extent. But I think that's kind of outside the situation that she's asking about.
That's just like, that's not even the,
like,
that's
that was just my first thought. My first thought was, that is scary, and that's not okay. Yeah. This man, period. Totally fine about the baby and stuff. That's your own decision. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this man most likely groomed this girl in my head. Agreed. But yeah, no, I think the sister was definitely at fault. I understand. I think if my sister at 20 years old got pregnant with a 28-year-old man, I would also probably freak out a little bit, especially if everyone around the table was acting like it was perfectly normal and fine. Right. But I don't think that's something I would not berate her and humiliate her in front of the whole family dinner over that in that moment. It's something that I think, because I would think of the reasoning of what this I don't know. I guess I wouldn't even let it get that far, though, if my sister was dating a man who was 28. You know what I mean? Right. Like, without saying something. But that scenario, and also saying it's a sin, is just way out of line. I think the girl also replied in a way that was out of line. But, you know, if you're coming after your younger sister, I'm sorry, you have to be prepared for her. You shoot with a BB gun, you have to prepare for her to shoot back with an AK. Literally. At your head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's just obviously some major projection going on with the older sister there. She obviously is facing some religious trauma that she holds resentment against herself for probably having a baby or getting pregnant out of wedlock and then having an abortion.
If she's super religious, I don't know if it, that happened before or after that part of her life, but I'm assuming she just is facing some genuine self-hatred, and when people hate themselves, they are going to push that onto other people. And so that's when especially if she sees it in her younger sister, she's going, because a lot of what older sisters are going to do is, like, they're going to try and bully you out of making the same mistakes that they made, even though there's not really anything
you can
do at your point where she's at, but, like, that's just what she sees. She probably sees herself in her younger sister more than any other person in the world already, but then to have the situation align, she's going to project her hatred immediately. So no, she wasn't right for airing it out. Of course, the younger sister is going to fire back.
I get where the older sister... I'm not super religious, so I wouldn't pass the judgment in the same, I guess, flavor that she did.
Yeah.
But I think I would still freak out and be like, in my head, be like, this is a horrible decision. You know? So I get where she's coming from a bit, but I know that she went about it the wrong way.
Well, but my problem is it doesn't, I mean, I guess unless she actually was having her genuine problem was with the age difference, but it sounds like it was just the religious aspect.
Having,
and, like, that's,
a baby out of wedlock.
That's not the problem here. I mean, obviously for her it is, but it's a projection. But, like, if she was actually having the problem was, like, the age difference is crazy here, like, that is a problem. That wasn't her concern. It was just, no, you're out of wedlock. Yeah. That's an issue. That's crazy. My
official advice on that is your older sister is probably a weird religious freak, and that is not on you to deal with. And, yeah, I'm not going to comment on her firing back, because the little sister's just going to do that. Yeah.
I mean, there's not really advice that we can give when the situation's already happened. Unfortunately, not everyone has great older sisters like we are. And so, if that's just not a person that you can have in your life because she's dealing with some self-hatred of her own, this kind of goes for anyone that is obviously hates themselves so much that they have to project it on you. You unfortunately just can't really have that type of person in your life because they're not going to ever be happy. And because they're not happy with themselves, they're not going to be happy with you. So you can only hope for them that they learn to love themselves so that they can be able to be a part of your life and love you in the way that you can love them. Unfortunately. And my advice is to make sure you have a good support system around you in case the situationship... Oh, not the situationship. The situation with the man goes awry. Because if not, okay, but you don't have your sister. I mean, obviously it sounds like your parents are really happy for you. Just make sure you have good people in your life that support you otherwise and that are going to be there for you no matter what. That's my advice.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that would be an interesting one. But... yeah. Time for must recommend. Yes. I'm actually really excited about this because I came up with what I wanted to say this morning. Okay. So I'll go first. Go. My must recommend is actually going to be controversial because I think some people won't agree with me. Okay. But I must recommend that if you are going into college, you should go random roommate. I think that... I'll tell my good story after, but I think that everyone who tries to force a random forced, like, menial friendship from those Facebook posts... A lot of those people just end up being shitty anyway, because they're like, things I like, watching Netflix, having nights in, but also having nights out. Well, yeah, girl, don't we freaking all? And it's like, you're trying to form relationships on really shaky boundaries, and that doesn't make for a good roommate. And I just think when you go random, you don't have the expectation that you're going to be friends, which is, I think, a big thing as well. Because forcing trying to live with friends without, it's hard. Because I've lived with friends and I've also lived with random. And it's hard. But anyway, the reason why I say I think my must recommend is going a random roommate in college is my freshman year roommate, Erin, I am going to name drop her. When I first matched with her, I was like, this girl is weird as hell. And I thought it was going to not work at all. But okay. Because we got to talking. I asked her what type of music she likes. She doesn't have any type of music she likes. I figured out, we talked about this why later on, but then I asked what about just like an artist, and she says, well, Michael Bublé, and I was like, oh, so we're gonna do shots to Just Haven't Met You Yet, like that's what the vibe is. So I was like really worried, but then we also, I'm weird, I'm a weirdo, so I know she was getting weird vibes from me as well. And also, side note, she deserves all the fucking credit and love in the world because she put up with me while I was dating Nick, and I would talk to him in a little baby voice. I would FaceTime him and be like, my little baby. And yeah, she deserved to actually ghost me and be mean to me and isolate me from everyone for that. And she didn't, so props to her. But the thing I came out the gate asking as well, I said, okay, well, are you Team Cap or are you Team Iron Man? And she was like, well, obviously I'm Team Captain America. And I said, okay, yeah, we're gonna get along at least on a basis level of morals. But to this day, I mean, it was even COVID happened midway, and it was just, we meshed so well, and like we created this relationship based off mutual respect first of being roommates, and then the friendship blossomed. And I will love her like she is a part of me forever. And I think I wanted to recommend that, I guess must recommend Erin in general. Because I think we've been talking, we go through ins and outs of like talking a lot to not talking a lot because we didn't live with each other after that point. Sure. And now I live in Minnesota. But we're going fanfiction for fanfiction with each other right now. And she's just such a caring person, and I think that going random roommate was one of the best decisions I ever made. First friend I made in college, one of the closest friends I ever made in college. Couldn't imagine my life different. And I think that if you are entering a situation where you want to make, I mean, everyone who's entering college is in a situation where you want to make friends and relationships that'll actually withstand the things that go on in freshman year of college. I think going random roommates is your best bet, is my opinion, because you either get there and you have random roommates, you go in with the knowledge that you need to respect this person, and either you get there and there's nothing else there and you just have that respect and then it works. I mean, in the rare cases where they're crazy, that can happen to anyone. It can happen to someone you find on Facebook, whatever. Right. But at the very basis, you know that this is a random stranger that you need to respect them. So you're not going to, as opposed to a friend. Yeah. And then either that, or then you can build a friendship based on that. So that's my little soapbox and must recommend.
And I will add on top of that, I mean, if you get it crazy, it's a fun story. Like, college is an experience, so if you get someone, I mean, it can be miserable in the moment, and there are some really bad ones, but, like, you will probably look back and just be like, no, it's just a funny story. Once you get out of it, it's temporary. You have anything else to add? Otherwise, I'll do mine, which, did you have it? Okay, is Teen Beach Movie.
Yes!
That movie is a classic, is so good. Rewatched it, been listening to the soundtrack. It's art. Like, sometimes Disney was sprinkling a little favor in that. Like, if you've never seen
sometimes
not all their movies are bangers.
Most up to that point. That was the beginning of the end. Teen Beach Movie was the beginning of the end,
that's probably yeah, that's probably fair. Actually, yeah, that's fair enough. But something about Teen Beach Movie, if you're into musicals, even if you're not, it's just like a parody on a bunch of other musicals. If you've never seen it, give it a watch. You'll be like, oh, this is an enjoyable little fun movie. Yeah. Like, you can get into it. It's just like, it just brings you joy. And especially if you are someone that has liked watching it younger and you maybe haven't seen it in a while, watch it, because the feeling of joy that I got from rewatching it, I'm like, oh, I love this movie. Like, yeah, it's such good vibes. Not the second one. The second one is not canon, and I do not accept it, and I will never ever watch it again. My sisters made me watch it, even though I told them it would be bad. Never. That movie doesn't exist, so don't even ask about it. Yeah. Teen Beach Movie 1 only, and that's where it ends. In like, that's canon. Everything else is not.
Yeah, Teen Beach Movie is a great movie, and I know the choreography for Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. I do. I know all the words to Fallin' for You. My friend Bradley, I hope he's listening. He knows all the words to Fallin' for You from Teen Beach Movie, and yes, put some respect on his name for that. Yes.
Well deserved.
I adore that movie as well. Mm-hmm. And it is, in my opinion, the end of the Disney bangers that, like, was the end of an era, I would say.
Also, and Ross Lynch, if you can hear me, Ross Lynch in that movie.
Not in that movie. Sorry.
You need to rewatch it then, because...
I have.
Recently.
He looks young.
He does look young, but it's not about that. It's about how in love he is with her.
Oh, okay. It's I thought you were just saying he was
he's
hot.
He's a cutie. I mean, he was at that time period. When I was young, girl, I'm not even getting into that. He was the bad boy of that era. He was.
Bad boy?
Like, well, not the bad boy, but, like, bad as in, like, fine.
Oh.
Like, okay. He was the man.
That makes me feel like how I thought, like, Sterling Knight, what the fuck was he in? Starstruck, the main guy from Starstruck and With Somebody with a Chance. I thought he was so hot growing up, and I look back and I'm like, that is horrifying and scary.
I agree with that, but I don't feel that way.
I don't know. I look back about Ross Lynch at that time, and I think he doesn't look the best. I think he was 17. I guess in comparison to now, I think he's so hot now.
Well, yes, that's true. He was a child, and so I'm not saying, like, he's, when you look back, it's like, oh, that's a kid. But when I was younger, I was like, no, that's a fine-ass man. I want him.
Fair. I was in love with Layla.
The way that she's annoying to me in that movie. Oh, Layla, she's fine.
She's the baddie biker girl in the pink.
Yeah, I thought for some reason, and I thought I got Layla and Mac mixed up, because Mac pissed me off that whole movie. But Layla's, no, that's real. She was a little bit too ditzy. Maybe part of her is better in the second movie, but still, that second movie doesn't exist, so it doesn't even matter.
I know, but she sings Falling For You, and that was Eat Down. Her part in Meant to... actually, I listen to the Meant to Be reprise, actually, like, almost every day to this day. They're like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, when it's meant to be.
Yeah.
The stars seem to glisten. Yeah, that's the type of love I be wanting, actually. If I am ever in love again, I have to be hearing Meant to Be reprise in my head the whole time.
No, okay, so that's what I'm saying is, like, when I was younger, Ross Lynch was bad. Looking back, he's just a 17-year-old blonde boy. But he yearns for Mac the entire movie.
Fair.
And that is hot. Are you kidding me? When it's, Like Me?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
When he says, there's only one girl that's on my list. Are you kidding? Bring back male yearning!
Yeah.
He wanted that girl. He could have had Layla. Like, oh my god. This is way over.
All
but,
the
like,
girls, they think I'm groovy.
He literally,
there's only one girl that's on me. And then they go like this.
Yes. He had his favorite movie. The main hot woman in that movie fell in love with him instead of the guy she was supposed to be with. Fell in love with him. Like, think about that. Your favorite childhood movie where you thought someone was so bad and they fall in love with you, and he was like, oh, wow, like, you're, like, I've wanted you, but I have another girl that has my heart.
Yeah, fair.
I don't have that strength. So, like, that's what I'm saying. That's the hot part. Like, he loved Mac, even though he had a baddie that he's always wanted, like, movie star goddess for him, that he's probably had wet dreams about. He had her, and he's like, but Mac, that I've known her for 3 months. Yes. So, that's my recommendation. Please watch that movie.
That's solid and amazing recommendation. I was really pleasantly surprised by that.
It's been on my mind, obviously.
For a while.
Yep. It lives rent-free.
Yeah. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for us. I mean, this is, I think, kind of a long one, actually.
Yeah, we'll see how much is actually cut out, perhaps. But...
Not that much, though.
Probably not that much, but I hope you guys enjoyed the longer episode. Yes. And I don't think all of them will be this long. We just had a lot to say.
We'll see.
Go ahead.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you want to find us, we are at weknowbetterpod on Instagram and YouTube, and with an extra D on TikTok. We Know Better Pod with 2 Ds. And if you're listening on Spotify, please rate us and follow. And if you are listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
I feel like we should also say our personal socials.
Okay.
So I'm Morg Cooper 2020 on everything.
I don't have to think about this for a minute. On Instagram, I am my full legal name, elizabethrosepenabrown. On TikTok, I think I'm edgyliz8, and that's probably what you'll find me on most other social medias as well. Please don't find my Twitter. It's not an okay place. It's embarrassing. Right. On Wattpad, I'm Mingme6.
Oh!
Is that relevant?
Send her some fanfic recommendations.
Girl, maybe. I do not be reading fanfic on Wattpad. It's only on AO3. I'm in Wattpad is for children. If you guys are if you guys though have Harry Potter Marauders, specifically Jegulus on AO3 archiveofourown.com, yes, do please send. I'm not telling you my account on that either though.
Okay. I think that's going to do it for us. So, thanks for watching.
Yes, see you next time.